Hi, it's Janet and welcome. Today I'm here for Creative Escape Papercrafting and I'm going to be making cards 6 through 10 using the April Fully Loaded card kit. So let's get started with card number 1. Now the first thing I'm using is several stamps from the Only Used stamp set, which is a Heidi Swap Magnolia Jane collection stamp. I'm using gold embossing powder here on some heavy vellum. The vellum has just a slightly yellowish cream color, so it works very nicely with all the pieces in this kit. Now there's also this cute arrow, and just to add some additional accent to it, I'm using vintage photo and oxide ink here just to put that in there. Now I'm going to be inking up one of the magnolias, the single magnolia in the stamp set, and heat embossing that again on the vellum with gold embossing powder. These are all going to be fussy cut out and used on my card layout. So here's my card front. This is just the pretty lemon and green paper with the bunny cut out, which is part of the 12 by 12 sheet that has individual pieces on there. I like the bunny, so I put it here, and then I'm using this wooden frame, which is from the Maggie Holmes Flourish Collection as well, to accent and highlight my little bunny on this card. It will become a focal point because of it, and you can see there that your eye can't help but look at that bunny. Now that magnolia I made goes up in the upper hand corner, and I trimmed that to fit. The treasure sentiment I'm putting at the bottom of the frame, and then a few other little items that I had done, the hearts and so on, I put on the front. So that's card number 1. Let's go to card number 2. Now this one I'm applying the cardstock directly on the card base itself, and this is an A2 size card. And what I'm going to do is use several pieces of paper from the collection in different widths, and then I'm going to apply it so that I've got ends hanging on the top and the bottom of the card base. This way when I get done I can trim everything down and it will fit and look like it's one piece. The last little bit I'm putting on here is some of that beautiful navy ribbon that came inside of the kit as well. It just adds a nice little accent, and you know, with something that is kind of the ribbon material makes a nice texture on the card as well for the background. Alright, I'm going to start building what's going to go on top here, and I have another one of those cutouts of this beautiful peacock, and I applied this on a mat of the mint green cardstock that came in the kit as well. There were 2 of these wooden frames that came in the kit, and I'm using the second one here and applying Faded Jeans Distressed Oxide ink. And then I'm going to use some Delicata rose gold ink that came actually in the Amazing Value kit last month. And I'm going to use that here on the edges, both the inside and the outside of this wooden frame. And this gives it a really pretty, soft, but yet distressed look that just goes great with the whole theme of the card that I'm building here. So you'll see that I'm going to apply that frame just so that it highlights the head of that peacock and still allows plenty of the cutout to show all around it. I made a small bow with that navy ribbon that I had left over here and put it at the bottom of the frame. And then this blue saying is also one of the cutouts, and it says, "Plant kindness, grow love." Just love that color. The final touch is some drops of Nuvo Duck Egg Blue crystal drops that came in the kit. And that finishes card number 2. All right, we're ready for card number 3. This I am using a little bit of paper that I had in my stash. It's that dark blue paper that I'm using as the accent, but the beautiful peacock paper is part of this kit. And I'm just creating a bunch of tags or flags that are going to serve as a background out of some of the decorator paper. And these are going to go on top of that panel. It's so great that you have all these patterns and textures and colors, but you know that because they came as part of the kit, you can use them and they'll all work together. And I'm taking that grouping of flags and put them on some foam tape, and then I'm going to build my flowers on top of that. Now I have 2 of these gold flowers, or not flowers, sorry, they're leaves. And they're wired so you can bend them to kind of look the way you want, which is awesome. There's a whole bunch of them that come in this ephemera kit that comes along with your fully loaded kit. And I'm using again some of that navy ribbon as an accent here around the card base. Then I attached one of the tassels that come in the kits, the navy colored one with the smile tag that came along, and created another little bow out of that navy ribbon. And this now is ready to put on our card front. This is a little larger card base. It's 6 3/4 by 4 3/4, and it's a really nice sized card. And that finishes card number 3. Well, let's go on to card number 4, and I start with this beautiful background paper, and we have 3 strips of accents here that are also from the card kit. Now that green glitter comes with the kit if you're a subscriber, so that's a little extra plus if you are a subscriber. And then I apply these strips much the same way as I did in card 2, only these are horizontal, and that's going on a card base where you can see that beautiful pink cardstock showing at the top and bottom. And then I've got a white scallop circle and a pink stitch circle that I cut with dies from my stash. And I've applied foam tape to that pink circle and then flat upon the card with the white. And that kind of sets up my focal point here. Now I had to find a way to use this black vellum piece that came in the ephemera kit. And I discovered if you apply the little glue dots underneath where the darkest of the drawing is on the vellum piece, you can't tell there's any glue. And so the last thing I'm going to do here is just attach one of the cards, again, that came in the kit, says thinking of you, and then this small ephemera item with the pink little flowers, and just trim that to fit. The last thing I'm going to do is use some of these beautiful sequins and put them here and there on the card as a finishing touch. This is a sequin pack that's available from Creative Escape Paper Company called Heavy Metal, and it's a custom mix that they made themselves, and it's just really pretty with gold, silver, rose gold, all kinds of different colors, and metallic. It's just gorgeous colors, and it's perfect to act as a finishing touch for this card. And so with that, we have card number 4. I think it turned out really cute, and there's a little bit of a close-up of it. All right, then on to card number 5. So with this, I'm doing something a little different. I'm applying first a stencil, and then I'm going to apply metallic gold medium over the top of it with a little putty knife here. And I'm just covering it as best I can to capture all the white space not covered by the stencil. And then I'll take off all the excess after I feel I've done that. And once I remove the stencil, I'm going to have this beautiful pattern underneath. And I will do that and set it aside to dry while I work on some of the other card elements. But that turned out great. So now I'm using more of the stamps, again, from the Only You stamp set from Heidi Swap. And there's actually going to be 4 of the flowers that I will do here. Once they're stamped, I'm going to color these with my Spectrum Noir markers. And they're in colors of pinks and reds. The colors are CR7, CR8, CR4, and PL1. Then I also colored the leaves in with LG2, LG4, and LG5. These are fairly small images, so you just need a little bit of the dark color and then fill in with the medium and light colors. And that's what I did really with all 4 of them. I just used slightly different colors on the different flowers, just so that when I combined them together, they would stand out a little bit one from each other. Now, once they're all colored, what I did was I fussy cut them out, and these will be applied together to form kind of a little focal point on my card. Now I want to be sure to let you know that if you don't have alcohol ink markers, that's no big deal. You can use colored pencils if you've got them. If you have kids, I bet you have colored pencils around. Or you could also use even crayons. I've seen some beautiful work done with just simple Crayola crayons. So don't let the fact that you may or may not have a lot of alcohol markers stop you from trying this technique. Just experiment and you'll find out you can do lots of neat things with just stuff you have around the house. Now, after I colored all of this up, I did do the leaves, but I'm not going to take the time to show you that because it's just pretty simple stuff. But I did use Wink of Stella on my flowers just to give it a nice little glimmer and shine. The next step is to make the sentiment, and I'm using a long sentiment stamp that says remember the moments in between, and this one is from the vintage Artistry stamp in the kit from 49 and Market, and I used silver embossing powder in this case, and it really is just stunning to use the embossing powder, gold or silver on vellum. It's just beautiful. So anyway, I put that on there, and now it's time to construct my little grouping of flowers that I created earlier. So I'm going to stack these by gluing a piece down first, and then I'm going to put foam tape on one of the pieces. And on the largest cluster here, I'm going to put 2 layers of foam tape on one section of it and only 1 layer on another. And it will then be able to lay over the 2 individual pieces that I laid it previously. Now it's ready to go on my card base, and I formed a card base using some of that pretty mint green cardstock that comes in the kit. And I do need to mention that the vellum I used in these cards did not come with the kit, it was from my stash. Now I decided to add one of these wooden hearts that came in the kit. I used Distressed Oxide ink and picked raspberry, covered that and placed it there on the vellum piece. And the last final touch was to make a little bow with the green and white twine that came in the kit to put on top of that bow. And with that is card number 5. Well, thanks so much for joining me. I hope to be back soon with some more tips and trick videos using the materials I got in the fully loaded kit this month. But please be sure to subscribe and click on the little bell so that you'll get a notice when I do so. Take care, everyone. I'll see you soon, but until then, keep crafting. Bye.